Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 704 of the Drunk Nerds podcast. I'm host, as always, I'm Tyler, and join me with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. After watching little bits of football today, plus just pretty much trying to enjoy my weekend after stressful work week and everything else. Yeah, it's been really interesting. I mean, obviously for us, it's been quite a few weeks since we record here, so
Yeah.
uh just playing a bunch of like games here and there across like Steam Decks and Switch 2, friggin' a PS5, just trying just to chill, just to relax on top of watching any type of freaking funny ass YouTube or Instagram videos.
Yeah.
But how about yourself?
I'm doing all right, clinging and banging as always. Yeah, it's funny. It's been like 2 weeks since we recorded, but it feels like it's been like a month just because we've
Yeah.
recorded. This is our first like normal podcast we've done in like I think over a month at this point. We did that the funny like Pokemon Smasher Pass episode for, during the holidays, and we did Fans Critic, and we did 2 weeks of um, Game of the Year, but we did like a couple of double recordings, so it's like we've had like a couple breaks in between there, so it's been feeling kind of off, and it was kind of interesting for the first time in a while. I actually had to put together some show notes. I'm like, oh yeah, how do I do this again? And like, how does all this shit work again? So it's been pretty interesting, but yeah, I'm doing all right. It was nice to, I missed doing the normal shows, and missed it's been fun, especially now we have some news. We had an Xbox Developer Direct this week and stuff, so it's been pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, it's been all right. Been I feel a little under the weather today. We had typically we record on Saturday nights. We're doing on Sunday night. I had a little get together with some buddies, and went over to a buddy's house, and his wife is an excellent cook, and she made this like like crispy. It was like a hash brown casserole, like a cheesy hash
Oh,
brown casserole. And
oh yeah,
Gables,
I've had those. Those are
I
nice.
ate a fuck ton of it. It was in a large amount of it. And I thought I was gonna be over there late, so that's why I was like, hey, just to be safe, can we just record tomorrow? Plus, I knew I was gonna be drinking and stuff like that. And I ended up getting home at a pretty decent time, and I feel a little, it's been everything's out there kind of shitty right now. So I was like, I want to like I have a million shows and TV shows and movies and stuff I want to watch. Like I just haven't watched yet that I want to watch, and I was like, I want some comfort food or for movie wise. I ended up watching Fast and Furious 1 and 2, and I had delivered. I was like, I'm being lazy. It's cold as shit out. The game left the $10 tip. Tip well, especially right now being so cold. If you're gonna have delivery, tip well, people. Come on. But I had delivered Olive Garden. I was like, I just want some chicken. I've been like craving like chicken Alfredo for a long time. Like good chicken
Right.
Alfredo, and it's Olive Garden. Like it's not, it's fine, it's good. Like I think I'm not like this is the best, but like I think I think Olive Garden's pretty good. So I got some
I just
chicken
want
Alfredo,
breadsticks.
and I think I ate too much cheese because I just feel like I felt like incredibly hungover today, like all
Oh
day
wow.
today. But it wasn't like alcohol hungover. Like I just think I ate too much cheese. I was up all night, like I just felt like there was like a block in that had formed in my stomach of just cheese.
Ugh.
So it was like
Oh God.
between the crispy hash brown casserole, the like insane amount of that, and then the chicken Alfredo, the insane amount of that. I think I just ate too much cheese, Gables. So that was
Oh God, dude. I understand the feeling. It's a thing where it's like you eat so much like either dairy or freaking starch or whatever the hell and stuff, where it just feels like your stomach is just expanded to the point where it's like,
yeah.
oh god, it hurts.
Yeah, I was just like laying in bed all night, like in between, like it just like, yeah, it was not a fun feeling. But yeah, I'm feeling better now. It took like most of the day to like, it felt like a real like hangover. Like I drank too much the night before, but I had 3 beers, so it wasn't that. Uh, so, but yeah, I'm doing all right otherwise though. But anyways, this is the DrunkNerds podcast where every week Gables and I get together and talk about video games, everything we love about them. We've been doing this we're going into almost our 14th year. This will be our
Mhm.
14th year of it, which is crazy. We're coming up on that anniversary. But yeah, like we're just two guys that we do this for fun. We love video games, and we like doing this show for the fun of it. We don't make money off of this. We just do it because it's something we like to do. So if you guys want to support us, go to every podcast service we are on there. Just look up Drunk Nerds, Drunk Nerds. You'll find us. YouTube is the best place, honestly, to help us out because we are over the we're like in the 570s for subscribers now, and help us get a little closer to that 1,000, and then we Gables and I can make
Right.
a little bit of money off doing this. But we do have a membership that's just $1 a month that you can sign up for, and we don't have anything to give you for, but it's just a way of saying, hey, we like what you do, and we would appreciate that. That makes it make us feel pretty good if you did that for us. But Gables, let's get into it. Let's get into the news. We got it was a good week to come back from the news. There hasn't been like a whole hell of a lot going on. Obviously with since like Game Awards, there really hasn't been a ton going on. Like just
Yes.
typically the case. But this week we finally have a decent amount of stuff going on. So we did have the first Xbox. Well, not the first X. The first like major like event of the year for gaming, and that was the Xbox Developer Direct for 2026. There was 4 games shown. We had Forza Horizon 6, Beast of Reincarnation from Game Freak, Kiln was revealed from Double Fine, and Fable was. We had a bigger breakdown of that game. But I mean, Gail, before we get into it, we can break this stuff down by one here. But what was your overall thoughts on the Developer Direct?
Well, the developer direct wasn't too bad, in my honest opinion. There were a couple of games that kind of felt stood out, and then there's like a couple things that were kind of like, okay, well, they were just okay. They weren't like, say, like terrible, or they weren't as great as I thought. I thought Double Fine's game was fairly creative. I mean, that whole aspect of experimenting with like what they call is like that initial sort of creative amnesia or something where they just take like two
Yeah,
weeks or something like that as a
Amnesia
break
Fortnite.
between yeah, like Amnesia Fortnite or something. That's what Tim Schafer was calling it and stuff, and then coming back to the table with something different. And ironically enough, this is a game that you basically have to like break each other's pots, pretty much like an online multiplayer game portion of that, which that's fairly creative and stuff. I mean, the thing about Double Fine's games is like they can make some great like creative games and stuff, but sometimes the concept can either hit or miss based upon like what type of initial thing that they go with. Like for example, they've because of these creative Fortnites, they were citing examples of games they've created in the past, like say Costume
Love
Quest
that
and
game.
like stacking and
Mm.
stuff of that sort, which we both remember them, and those were pretty good games and stuff from when they launched and stuff. But they also have made games like Psychonauts 2 and stuff, and Brutal Legend and stuff, which much like other gamers do recognize. But as far as this game that they did initially show, I think that's pretty fun. But I'm not entirely sure that going the route of like say a multiplayer style of game like this could be like I'm not sure if that's a good thing for like the long run stuff, but at the same time, I kind of like them delving into this idea of like, okay, why don't we create this like this pot breaking game and then just see where everything else will sticks with it. But as far as say Microsoft's things directly, I thought it was good. The games that you would expect to be there were being shown front and center. Like for example, the Forza, the Fable stuff, and then Game Freak's game. The Beast Within or something like that,
Beast
or the
of
Beast Incarnate,
Reincarnation.
Beast of Reincarnation. Right, right. So seeing all those lines and all the other stuff, I kind of felt like this was like a good sort of like developer thing. Like, say, I would probably give it like around maybe like a 6 or 7 or so out of 10 personally,
Okay.
because I was curious to see what Game Freak was gonna show, and it kind of looks like a fairly comparable like action game and stuff. There are definitely some borrowed elements of like some other 3D action games of its type, so like a Ninja Gaiden sort of thing, or like yeah, I'm just saying Ninja Gaiden for just example because that's pretty much what I'm trying to compare what the gameplay of itself kind of looked like, give or take a bunch of different type of changes that they did. But it kind of also shows me how much Game Freak can actually go and do something of like that type of caliber, like away from Nintendo,
Yeah.
sort of that, because we more or less know them because of one game, and that is the Pokemon series, right? And so from that one series and stuff, you think, oh, okay, maybe they're stifled or something in terms of their creativity, and that's why they're not able to make like say these great Pokemon games. Well, well, that theory has pretty much been thrown out the window, I think,
Yeah.
because this looks like it has a potential to be a fairly good game.
Mm.
I thought with Forza Horizon 6, God, I really love the look of this game. If there's one thing that Playground Games does really well is the racing games in terms of how they look, all the visuals, all this other like various control stuff. And obviously the Horizon series I do love too because you can just explore it kind of like how a Burnout Paradise. You just choose your own different things to do, like different races, time trial races, and do all this other stuff. Then like Fable kind of looks like it's kind of like returning back to form like from what the concept was initially, which is kind of like a morality meter of, oh, okay, well, if I do kind of like how in the original Fable, how you did certain things and all of a sudden like it's more or less kind of like a morally gray area. Like for example, if you kick a chicken or something like that, you're pretty much labeled as the chicken chaser and
Yeah.
stuff like that because you are doing all this other stuff. Or if you go through and like let's say you buy a whole bunch of buildings and stuff, well you're starting to get labeled as some sort of rich snob or something like that, and
Rich
some
twat.
people are going to look like rich like what
Twat.
or something like that,
Yeah.
to where you see people are just kind of thinking, oh well, this rich dude or something like that, I don't really trust this dude, or kick out certain people and they just remember all this different stuff. I wasn't too impressed really with the combat from it, only
Oh.
because it was more kind of like a generic, kind of felt more generic to me in some aspects of it. But other than that, though, other stuff did look fine. I mean, the visuals for the towns, the visuals and stuff for the creatures and stuff. Not don't know too much about the characters at this point to really kind of like decide to like either for or against or whatever the hell. But at the same time, I think it's actually like coming along like rather well at this moment.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I thought it was I loved this show. I thought it was really good. It flew by pretty quickly for me. I remember like looking. I'm like, how long? I'm like, how long is it supposed to be? And I looked down. And it was like 40 something minutes in. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm like, this just flew by for me. I'm like, I love this. I thought Forza Horizon 6 looks fantastic. I've been looking
yeah.
forward to them going to Japan for a while. I've been really happy like the fact it's happening, and then the fact that like just like how gorgeous it looks, like all the like different like the areas like you're gonna be inside Japan. They said I think it says to me like 5 times bigger. Like I hope I get to like go up into the mountains and stuff like that. Like I thought it looked great. I mean, for like racing games like this, like always showcase really really well. But yeah, like and coming off Forza Horizon 5, which was fantastic. Um, no doubt this game's gonna be really good and probably looked at very positively. The only thing I'm hoping for is that we do get to like there's gonna be like some Fast and Furious tie-in.
Oh
Because
yeah,
I love some like Tokyo Drift if we can get some of that in there. Also like Beast of Reincarnation. I just hope that like Game Freak can like prove that like hey we can do this. Like we can make a 3D game. We can do these type like we can make like hey like almost like I kind of I'm rooting for this game just for like maybe this like will prove to Pokemon Company and Nintendo like let's give them a budget and like some time to make things, you know. Uh, but yeah, like I really like how all that looked out. I'm still like confused. I'm like, is this a Souls like? Is this like a more of like a character action game? You know, like that's all I want to know more about. Like uh, but I love the whole idea of like it kind of look like almost like a Final Fantasy VII remake slash like 16 kind of fighting style where like you can slow down time with and like make Ku go do things and stuff like that, which I liked a lot. But I thought graphically, I mean, it doesn't look like a top of the line game, but like as far as like modern like this is like AAA $200 million budget like best looking game ever type scenario. But like I thought like yeah, this looks like a really could be like a really good like double A, almost like a Team Ninja game. But like if it just works well,
right.
runs right, and the combat's good, like I'm rooting for this game. Like just if it's like an 8 out of 10 style game, I'd be awesome. It's coming out this summer. Oh yeah, Forza Horizon 6 coming out May 19th, which is awesome. Which also kind of leaked a long time ago. We have like Kiln. I love Kiln. I thought that looked really really cool. I would like this was probably actually like my game of the show. Just kind of like a thing I gave no shits about. Like I heard the rumors beforehand, like oh it's a 4v4 multiplayer game, but I didn't know what that's all we knew. And then to see it, and I'm like, okay, like you create your own kilns, and like you can build them like for like they can't hold as much water, but they can like they are faster. Like some can actually like sneak through like tunnels and stuff like that. You can have like a big one, like make a big tank then carry a lot, but he's slower, and they can do more damage. Like I just loved all the things that like they were like showing off here, like all the creativity that like Double Fine can do. Like obviously like Xbox, like Microsoft with Xbox is in a weird place right now. but I hope that like Double Fine just like you can't fuck with them. Like they like like they maybe that yeah they're not gonna put out like the greatest games of all time like or even like the biggest like they're not gonna put out Call of Duties, but like it's like this should just be like your art house type studio that's just gonna like hey we're gonna make some like really cool games that like are gonna people like the smaller people will like it, but they're gonna like it's just like this should matter to us like as far as like reputation alone of like hey this is gonna make a ton of money for us and maybe we'll break even, but it's also like your Microsoft like you can have some loss leaders here, you know, like I'm not gonna feel sorry for you if like this game doesn't make money. Microsoft, I'm talking about Microsoft's here, but like I just like man, they should like this should be the last company they fuck with is Double Fine because like I just love like
Yeah.
the whole like Fortnite and Amnesia thing where they just take 2 weeks off to go do shit. Like I remember when they did the Psycho Knots documentary, them like talk about that, like breaking the whole thing down, which is just awesome. Yeah, I thought Kiln was like looked incredible. Like the design of it, like I said, like all the like dumb things you can do with them, and like all the different creativity with it. I love that. Fable showing off finally gets more of that. I'd like to see more of like the gameplay. I guess like, but I liked. I mean, I thought the combat looked good for like what it like. Like sometimes with these open world games, like especially like these 3D fighter kind of games, like sometimes like you always think the combat takes a back seat and like I mean, no one's ever wrote home about the combat in like Fable 1 or 2. Fable 3 is a trash fire and should just not exist. I hate Fable 3. But I love Fable 2 back in the day. And yeah, I've just, I thought like what we seen of it, like I thought I really liked the humor of it. I like the whole idea, like, yeah, bringing back like the whole, like, you can buy up all the houses in the game. I think like just to be like a gigantic like asshole and like evict people or people can love you. People just call you names as you walk by. Like like getting like seeing like the thing of like what they think of you and like it's like yeah they're gonna call you names but like they might say it from afar and it's like people just calling you asshole and twat and stuff like that. Like I loved all that. Like I think like I think the gameplay wise like it doesn't need to be like fantastic. It doesn't need to be like you know like best of the best. But like if it just needs to be like a good solid like passable like B plus gameplay and then like just nail the humor that we expect from like the British humor that we expect from like a Fable and like I think this game could be really really good. I can't wait like I don't, like I'm not gonna sit there and I'm like I love Fable 2 back in the day. I played a little bit of Fable 1 long time ago. Fable 3 I beat and that that game was like one of like I beat that game. I remember being so just pissed off. Like this game sucked. So like I'm happy that it's coming back and like this looks good. You know, it's like especially if like something that's been like that was rumored to like be put in place like a long time ago. Like I think it was like into 2017 that this was like
Yep.
rumored they were putting the studio like it's like it's technically Playground, but like they basically made a whole studio inside a Playground to build. So it's not just like they split the team in half. It's like they actually like just started up a whole nother studio within Playground to make this. But yeah, I thought it looked really good. I love the whole idea of like they talk about like at the beginning of the game, like you see the giant, which that guy is incredibly funny from the IT Crowd, which is like a really popular show like in the UK and everything. So like that's awesome. Like having like guys like they like kind of like all right like you know looking in the right direction here of like kind of what we want from this game. But like the whole idea of like you can kill him and like his body's just laying there for the rest of the game, or you can like
Yeah.
keep him alive. And it's like people can love and hate you. Like you're gonna piss people off regardless. If you kill him, like his sister's gonna hate you if you kill him. And it's like okay, what does that mean? Like throughout the game, but yeah, I thought like what we saw of it looked really good. I think honestly my biggest complaint is just like maybe like we've been spoiled because I think every single one has had like a shadow drop, and like or like we haven't necessarily had dates for everything after this. Like I remember like Outer Worlds 2 was like the big thing they showed last year, and that didn't come out until end of October. We didn't have a date for that until Summer Game Fest. So like I think maybe it's like I said maybe a little bit of spoiledness of like we get like a fun shot like the usually like the thing that's revealed is shadow drop like the surprise game is a shadow drop and I was fully expecting like all right we're gonna be like I was so pumped like oh my god I can't wait till this is over. I'm gonna download Kill and play it right after this is over and it's like it's springtime like okay that kind of sucks but like I don't know like I think we got but it's like a nice little pattern here of like we got in May we got Forza and Kiln is coming in springtime so probably Aprilish I'm gonna bet on that one. Beast of Reincarnation's coming out in the summer and then we got Fable probably August September range. So a nice decent pattern here. But yeah, I really liked it. It just kind of sucks to like where like Xbox is just like at a like an all time low right now from like I think perception of like Xbox the console and just the way it's been ran with Microsoft and everything going on, and then like but like I think like the last few years of like the game studios have just been like really good and like they're actually like they're finally like it just sucks that they're finally putting out all like these games and stuff that we've been wanting and they're finally here, but it's just like it's just everything like Microsoft is like just kind of fumbled so much, really since like them trying to buy Activision is just kind of cast this like giant shadow upon it. It just kind of sucks that like yeah like we're seeing all this where yeah like it's just like, everybody thinks of it negatively, but it's like meanwhile like they're putting out these like really banger games and like yeah maybe the big issues they're not putting out like the game of the generations or anything like that, but like I don't know like they're putting out a lot of like really good eights right now and 8.5s I would say. And yeah, I think this year. I mean, but I think this year, but like we still got Halo, we still got Gears of War E Day, so it's still a decent amount coming the rest of the year. But yeah, I thought I'd give it like an probably like 8.5 out of 10 on this one, just because like I said, all these games I want to play all these games. I'm excited for it, and like I said, I kind of like I'm rooting for Beast of Reincarnation, just a way of like just kind of almost being like Game Freak's fu towards um game Pokemon Company and Nintendo there. But moving on to the next thing here. So kind of another disastrous week for Ubisoft here. Um, they announced they were canceling 6 games, including the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake. They're delaying 7 more. Now it's kind of a big reshuffle. They are closing 2 studios, and they're having I believe 55 people were being laid off at Massive Entertainment, which is like the ones that obviously the Division, which is probably their maybe like the biggest franchise right now at this point outside of Assassin's Creed. But so I think that was like the big idea. Hey, we're gonna do this. We're gonna save a bunch of money, which usually layoffs and like, hey, we're gonna save a bunch of money. Uh, Typically like that is like a guarantee, like a cheap trick to like make stock price go up because that makes the shareholders happy. It did the opposite this time. It made the stock went down the next day. I think they announced this on Thursday, and then Friday the stock dropped 39%. The very next day, it is now down. The overall price of the stock is down 96% since 2018. This is the lowest the stock has been since 2011. They also mentioned that with all this they're going to save about $200 million. But good news, Gables, they're going to invest this money into AI. So what's your thoughts, Gables, on all this?
They've hit rock bottom. That's what I pretty much have come to the realization of as I keep reading more about it, as I keep listening to a little bit more about it from other people and stuff. And also just going into seeing some bit of like the leaked little screenshots and stuff that the what happened with that Prince of Persia game in and of itself back before like it was canceled and stuff, and even like with the press release that Ubisoft put out for that Prince of Persia remake game, it's like even they knew it's like Jesus Christ, man, this game was not anywhere close to being ready to be released as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fairly sad though that it's come down to this point because of all the various mismanagements, all this other type of initial things that have been happening over the past decade plus and stuff. But yeah, man, it's really crazy to see like how much value has like depreciated in such a short time, and it's quite honestly, it's basically a lot of the fault upon just the amount of like the owners and stuff, and
Use
like
Gamal.
Isgamo himself, in terms of like the initial struggles and the failures through the failures of like a bunch of different games that just did not hit massively the way they wanted to, whether it be like an Assassin's Creed game or like I know that I know for like Rainbow Six, that's been one of their major money makers and stuff, and that's because of like all the various stuff that they've done with Siege in terms of like the content they've released on to there, having to subsequently like when it first launched, having to redo a hell of a lot of the content just to satisfy some of the fans and stuff from there, and then have it be still lasting this long, and then on top of that, multiple different types of like flops, like would say with the last Far Cry, excuse me,
Oh, Far Cry 6,
and
yeah.
then like other different types of projects as well. It's just been an common like a accumulation of all these different events one after another, like Eels Gamal incompetence and stuff, like literal like HR nightmare type of situations, like friggin' all these massive try to like takeovers and stuff. At one time, Vivendi was trying to
Yeah.
overtake them like a number of years ago, and they had to end up trying to go and try to ostracize and just try to keep them from taking themselves over.
Yeah.
It's yeah, man. It's just been nothing but like a big gigantic nightmare for Ubisoft, who we're at this point and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if like we hear news the rest of the year or something that it's been not only just dissolved inside of multiple different types of companies or even selling off major IPs and stuff to other companies. It would not. We're looking at the possibility where these could potentially happen, but at the same time, it's like anything could possibly happen at Ubisoft at this point. You don't lose 96% of your initial stock's worth in the span of like less than 10 years without having to do a lot of major fuck ups along the way here.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know what else they could do
Yeah.
other than like license, like selling off IPs or like just try to restructure whatever they can at this point and stuff. And then they have to let go of like a bunch of different employees too, still
Yeah.
on top of that.
Yeah. I think about 2,000 people more getting laid off here. It's just like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, I mean, I mean, that pisses me off more than anything, especially if someone's been, laid off almost 5 months now and still looking for a job. It's not fun. You don't want to be out here, people. Uh, but yeah, it's just baffling and it's frustrating to like you watch this company. Um, like yeah, they had the Vivendi thing and they turned it around. Like I remember doing this podcast almost a decade ago. It's crazy to think that. Uh, I was like, man, Ubisoft is my favorite studio right now. Like, or publisher, developer, whatever. Like, they're putting out all the best games. I thought um, for a good stretch here. From I would say towards the end of like the 360 era to like the first half of the PS4 era, they were just like all the Assassin's Creed games like were hitting. Like Far Cry 3 and 4 were really good. Like Watch Dogs 2 was awesome. Like they're putting out like Child of Light and stuff like
Yep.
that, and like all these like they're like Rayman was awesome. Like they're putting like everything was just hitting for them, and it's I don't know I don't fully understand like what's happened. And I mean it's part of it is a problem nowadays where I mean we see this like I mean this isn't like a new thing, but we see it like in everything right now where it's like these big companies like like putting out like a game that like investing say $20 million in the game, just hypothetical here, and it goes out and it sells a bunch, sells 10 million copies, but the game was only worth $10, and say it made $100 million, like that is nothing to them. Like I remember, like people were like, oh man,
No.
like what if like Ubisoft or EA or whatever they put out Balatro? It was like, yeah, okay, Balatro was like a $13 game that sold 10 million copies. Like to like that small team or that one dude, like if you're a small indie company, that is life changing. To this company, that doesn't matter. That barely anything to them. They don't care. Or they're gonna look at it the wrong way and like, hey, what if we make Balatro 2, but we invest $200 million in it? And the next one, and we now needs to make $1 billion, and it's not going to do that, and like that's usually what ends up happening. So it turns into the big issue is like it's an Activision issue before they sold to Xbox, where it's like this one thing became so big, and they had to invest everything into this thing, and everything else be damned. But it turns into an issue down the line where it's like all you have now at this point is this one thing, and if it doesn't succeed or whatever, you're kind of screwed. Also, the problem though is I talk all the time like something like a Square Enix or like Ubisoft, where like you look at EA and Activision, like I mean, like even like okay, Call of Duty was kind of a not a flop, but it was by far probably one of the worst selling Call of Duties in a long time. But it's still fucking probably made a ton of money for that company. It's still going to make $1 billion. It's still one of the best selling games of the year. And it's going to be a game that's going to do a lot of business for them, even though it's a massive disappointment for them. It's still going to be a gigantic moneymaker. You look at like EA, like they have Madden, they have EAFC, whatever. They have all these different things. They're like, even if they're disappointing or they sell slightly less than they expect, still going to be big moneymakers for them. And it's like,
Right.
you look at Ubisoft, they don't have that. Like, like we see them like they're investing all this into like Assassin's Creed, but the problem is like it becomes like eventually like okay, like it doesn't, not to say it doesn't work anymore. Like Assassin's Creed Shadows, like it sold like 5 million copies, which you would think that should be good. That should like not every game out there is gonna sell 20 million copies. Like 5 million for a non like Call of Duty or Pokemon or something like that. That should be a good amount of copies. But the problem is is
Well,
everything
yeah,
else around Ubisoft is so fucked right now that they need that thing to sell 15 million copies, 20 million copies to make up for everything else being shitty. And it's
exactly.
it's nobody else's fault but Yves Guillemot and Tencent here. And like I know people are like, oh well, Tencent's here to help, but it's like I did a whole breakdown last year about all this. I the thumbnail, I'm pretty sure it has Prince of Persia on it. Where I did the whole breakdown. I broke down everything that's happened since Tencent came in. I think it was 2018, 2019, and it's only gotten worse since they got involved, and not better. And it's like everything they fought off with Vivendi is like they just turned into like what they were before Vivendi. It's just it is a disaster. And like I've said for multiple years now, nothing will change until Yves Guillemot is gone. But unfortunately, he's not going to be gone until he wants to. And it's like, are you going to take like if this thing goes down, you know what? Him and all of his like top execs, they're going to be fine. They can sell this shit off, or
exactly.
they're going to sell this off in pieces. They're going to go bankrupt, and someone will buy it out, and then they'll walk away with millions of dollars, and they'll be fine. And then it's all the employees that worked here that like they're just doing their best, and they're just massively getting fucked over by these dipshits that don't know what they're doing, or they can't stick to a plan. The problem is also with this, it's the Boy Who Cried Wolf here, where they have done this exact thing multiple times, where they cancel a bunch of games and they delay everything else, and they've done it on several occasions now. I think this is the third time they've done it in the last 5 years. And like, okay, the first time we did it, like, okay, so smart. They had a couple big mistakes here, some flops, push everything back, kind of almost like all right, take a breath, figure things out, go from there and fix it. And it doesn't work. And it's just like it's almost like a thing of like, all right, we gotta do this to make kind of like short term make the stock go up. But it's not working. And like they've tried to sell on multiple occasions, but I don't think there's like a bidder there. Like I'm sure there's people that'd be willing to buy the company, but probably not for like massively overpay for like what they want or what they're hoping for. And especially now is like the value of the company is going down, and it definitely looks like as they're breaking things down to like 5 different tiers, yeah, they're probably trying to sell off bits and pieces here and parts and try to like slim down as much as possible, so then like they can sell off and for a bigger amount there. But like I don't know, like that's still not gonna be good for us as the gamers. That's still not gonna be good for for consumers. It's not good for employees. That's just less jobs. That because it's not like, oh, cool, we're gonna buy all these IPs up and we're gonna take all these people and we're gonna make games on those IP. Like no, they're just gonna buy the IP and they're just gonna have it. It's gonna sit there, or maybe we'll get some like half-ass remasters and like a collections or something like that. Like I don't know. Like I think like we've all been burned. Like we all thought Activision was gonna be better after Microsoft bought it, and I don't think that's the case. I don't think anybody's like. I'm not gonna say like Activision. Who knows if Activision was ever like was still on its own doing its own thing? It'd probably be still in a pretty shitty spot right now. But I don't know if it wouldn't. Who's argue it's better? It's maybe just the same best case scenario here. And yeah, it's just like more consolidation is bad because it's gonna be another big company that's gonna swallow it up and do nothing with these IPs. It just sucks, man. Everything fucking sucks, and I'm tired of it. I'm gonna go watch Tokyo Drift tonight and make myself feel better. Maybe I'll eat some ice cream. I don't know. I shouldn't do that after all the cheese I ate yesterday. But yeah, it's just frustrating when I see this. It's just like, man, they got so much good shit there. It's just that's frustrating too. Is like especially these companies that have been around for a long time, and you just see all like there's all these great IPs here. There's all these great games that could possibly do something. You guys can't even like remake. You put the resources in to make a good Prince of Persia remake. It's like those like I'm not saying it's easy, but it just seems like such a slam dunk of like these studios to do. Is like, hey, we're like that was a good way to like these like IPs that are kind of been dormant or we've kind of mishandled for a long time. Let's go back and remake the ones people love. And it's like it just seems like it's a giant, just like an easy thing. Not like I said, not easy in the sense of like game development, I guess wise. Right. Where like just remake it and do a good enough job with it, and people will be happy. People will love it. People will buy them. Like remakes, I know people bitch about remakes and remasters, but the problem is, maybe not the problem, but the reality is people buy those things. They make up a huge chunk of what people buy are remakes and remasters or collections or whatever. And it's just like you guys like, yeah, there's the reports out there and there's rumors that like basically they were trying to remake this whole game on the cheap, which is nuts to think that like Gables Prince of Persia remake was supposed to come. They announced that in 2020, and it's supposed to come out in January of 2021.
And yeah, supposed to come out 5 years later. Yeah, they messed it up so badly they canceled it.
It's gone. They switched up. They started. There was the rumors that like the leaks out there. that looked pretty realistic here. That game was supposed to come out last week, and now it's just gone. It's just gone.
Yeah.
No one will ever play. And yeah, it's probably bad. Who knows? But it's just it's I don't know. But it sounds like like I said, it sounds like a case of like almost like a Pokemon with Game Freak situation where it's like we want you to make this game with $8 and a box of scraps. And it's like we want this to do well, but we don't want to spend a lot of money. So I don't know. It's baffling. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know how things are gonna get better there. And like, but it's like I feel like I have this rant. We have this discussion once a year with them about Ubisoft and Ysgamol, and it just never changes. But Gables, let's move on to some other stuff, to other news. Really over the last month, not a whole much more to talk about here, but just some things have happened over the last month or so. First up here, 007 First Light got delayed. It's come out at the end of March. Now it's delayed to May 27th, which was, I believe, the either like the original date or like the same week that GTA 6 was supposed to come out. So 2-month delay there, which is good. Obviously more time to put that, get the game put together. Pokemon 3 and Splatoon 3 were rated for Nintendo Switch 2.
Pokemon 3 and
Pikmin 3.
Splatoon.
3. Pikmin 3. Sorry. I didn't realize that Pokemon. It's late. It's 1:30 in the morning. Leave me alone.
That's kind of interesting. Pikmin 3 and Splatoon 3 rated for Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I can understand the Splatoon 3 stuff because of the apparent that new DLC or something like that's supposed to be coming out just for Switch 2 only or some of that sort. That's what I'm remembering, if I'm not mistaken. But for Pikmin 3, are they trying to re-release different like versions here?
I mean, we're seeing that pretty regularly here with
yeah,
like even like Donkey Kong Returns, which is a Wii game that got ported to 3DS, and then they remastered the 3DS port for Switch 1 and got a Switch 2 update this week.
Yeah, and apparently it patched up a lot of like different things that people had issues with, included Dixie as a playable character as well. So I'm kind of curious to check that back
issues
out.
with the game that's been remastered and ported 3 times already.
I don't know.
That's interesting. I think it's funny that like Pikmin 3 is a Wii U game that's getting a Switch 2, possibly a Switch 2 thing here. So I don't know. It's interesting. It's just funny.
It wouldn't surprise me though, because Nintendo's been doing, like what you're saying, a lot of the initial reissuing of like past games on different systems, including the ones from from their previous system,
from three systems ago. Yeah, but I don't know. It's just I think it. I feel like we're going to be seeing a lot of this. It's going to be like the type of thing that's going to fill in gaps for when they don't have dates or releases for a while for the next couple of years. Probably we're going to be seeing stuff like this. So curious, like kind of like how some of these, though, it seems like a little more. They put a little more effort into them than others, but some are just simple updates. Some are paid updates, like that. The Mario Wonder update. Are you going to buy that, the Mario Wonder thing?
I'm kind of on the fence about it right at this moment, but it really all depends on how I'm feeling about it, because I'm really not too much of a fan of the Switch Online stuff. I mean, for the Mario Brothers Wonder stuff, we tried it during that one extra live a couple years back, and the online stuff wasn't bad, but at the same time, we did have some bit of connection issues too.
Yeah, I'm just buying. I audibly gasped when I saw the Captain Toad amiibo. That's all I've wanted for like a decade. So since Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, I've been waiting for this. So I immediately pre-ordered that one. It's only $25, Gables. So that's good. It's great. I mean, Gables, did I tell you that I bought all the Street Fighter 6 amiibos for $3 a piece?
Why would you buy all the Street Fighter 6
They were $3, Gables. It's nuts. Like the amiibo market is crashing. Okay, those things were like $30, and now they're selling them for $3. The Metroid amiibos that they're putting up for $40, I was seeing regularly for like $20 now. Like no one's buying them.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah, because they're fucking expensive. So,
exactly.
Yeah, Gables, the fact that the amiibo market is like they raised prices so they didn't have to on the amiibo, so they wouldn't have to raise the price of the console, and now the amiibo market's crashing. I'm gonna guess there's gonna be some sort of price increase this year for the Switch 2. Did you see? Okay. Did you see the new Joy-Con for there's like is it pink and green? I can't remember what it was. What's the new game that's coming out for them? Oh, the Mario Tennis Joy-Cons.
The new Joy-Cons out.
They're gonna put them out with Mario Tennis.
Okay, are they just different colors? That's about it.
Yes, but Gables, guess what?
But
They so you know how like the Joy Cons are black, but like
yeah,
the like the where the joystick is, that
yeah.
part is colored. That's the only part that's colored.
This can't be a thing.
Oh,
I need to
I
check
can't
this
believe
out.
I can't believe you haven't seen this, Gables. I was audibly laughing
I've
at.
not even seen this yet. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. Look up.
okay,
Okay,
Mario.
I'm gonna move on to the next thing here, Gables. And I want you to look it up. I want your reaction. Just type in like Mario Tennis Joy Cons, maybe. Oh, I can't wait for this.
Let's see.
I think it's
New
purple.
light purple and light green Joy-Con 2 controllers that are launching February 12th. Also, Mario Tennis Fever. Are we serious here?
Are you looking at them?
Let me guess. Is these the ones? Pretty much.
Yes, those are the ones. Yeah, they want you. They want your cookies. Yeah, but that's the new Joy Cons that we're getting now, Gables. They're not even changing the color of the fucking Joy-Con. They're just it's just a they're just doing a little circuit. And Gables, you know how much those things cost now?
Um, I don't know how much the Joy-Cons
A
cost
hundred fucking
now.
dollars.
There ain't no way I'm fucking buying another pair of Joy-Cons.
Gables, did you see the Resident Evil 9 uh, special edition Pro controller?
Dude, that Pro controller does look pretty damn good, though.
You want how much to charge it for, Gables?
Let me guess. It's $100.
It's $100.
What are we doing here?
I don't know anymore, Gables. I don't know. You
Oh
gotta be
my god,
we gotta be
dude.
one
I
percenters to play
mean,
video games.
I get the idea of like wanting your own special brand of like different variations of controllers and stuff, and then obviously having that whole agreement with Capcom to use the Resident Evil license and stuff for branding for their upcoming game, and then having to pay a little bit of a premium and stuff. But still, $100 for a controller that you're probably gonna wear out the joystick for probably like less than a year
Yeah.
after you buy it. I mean, come on, I I can't justify that, dude.
No.
I mean, as honestly, unless you really love a specific franchise or different types of controllers or something like that, I mean, there's really no need to buy all these things if they don't have freaking
Yeah.
hollow like freaking like joysticks, and I just mean like those hollow sensor ones, to where Steam has it initially inside of like their Steam Deck for some of these freaking analog sticks and like upcoming controllers that use hollow effect stuff. You paying like someone paying $100 just for a controller that's not going to last for 6 months, maybe. I mean, I get it. You want as part of your collection, but oh god, dude,
Yeah.
$100 just for a freaking the inside of a color of a joystick.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. It's like I'm never gonna see it. Like why this is ridiculous. Yeah, no, it's insane. Yeah, no, I finally like last year I just invested. I just bought the like the pro controller of like the basically the top end controller for all like the Xbox and PlayStation. And then I bought like an 8-bit dough, like the pro controller for my Steam Deck. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah, dude. I mean, with
I'm
these
good.
Switch 2 different color variations, I mean, it's lazier than the actual original Joy-Con variations because
Yeah.
at least those outward shells are fully colored.
Yeah, it's insane. I'm like, this is all we're doing. Yeah, it blew me away. I started just laughing when I saw that. A couple other things, Gibbles. There are multiple Echo the Dolphin games in development.
You sent me this link earlier on this like during this week, and I just had to think about it for a while, because we're talking about a franchise that was predominant on the Sega Genesis. It had two games. It had the original Echo the Dolphin, and it had like Echo the Dolphin, like Tides of Time, and then it had a one game on the Dreamcast. And so that's basically it for that franchise. And hearing that there's possibly new games in the Echo the Dolphin franchise that's
Yeah,
going to be in development. Obviously, there's probably going to be it's probably like remakes of those previous games and maybe like one new
probably
one. That's what I'm guessing.
maybe like a collection and then like something like new, maybe.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Um,
Have you ever played Echo the Dolphin?
way back in the day on Genesis, yeah, and I like
You want to know what it deals with?
what slaughtering of dolphins.
No, not
Oh,
slaughtering of dolphins. It's not like that. No, it has to deal with like dolphins getting transferred and stuff like that and just being saved from aliens.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right. Not at all. You could have gave me 1,000 guesses. I wouldn't have got there. Okay. Interesting.
Well, I don't really blame you all too much, because it's like that's Echo the Dolphin. Obviously, there are plenty of people from back when that really do love that game and stuff, and more power to them and stuff.
Mike
But
Minotti.
yeah, once you start getting like into the initial like later parts of that game gets fairly dark. And I'm not just saying like the game design itself is like the different colors or something like that. I mean, the game gets kind of a little bit creepy towards the end when you're actually facing off against like the actual enemies of this game. You know,
Hmm.
something that Tyler really needs to take a look at
I
on
might have to do
YouTube.
that. I might have to do that. Okay. And then last but not least here, Gables, Marathon got release date, March 5th.
Yeah, I heard about that. Heard about that, thought about it. I'm like, this is definitely a wait and see approach, dude.
Hmm.
I do not trust this.
I do think it's funny that Xbox accidentally was the one that leaked the date beforehand. Um, so that was like,
Oh
okay,
god. Not just that, but it initially was like a pre-order thing, right? And so people pre-ordered this and the game installed as a Destiny 2 expansion
yeah,
or something like that by accident.
yeah, because
And then Bungie had to go through and like course correct and just take that pretty much offline or something like that for the point being because they didn't want a whole bunch of people just downloading this initial thing before launch.
yeah,
So it's
yeah, because there's like a Destiny 2 crossover if you pre-order it and stuff. So, um,
yeah.
Gables, can I
Huh.
admit something to you?
What's that?
I am a marathon believer.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say it right now, Gables. This game is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. I think it's gonna be good.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be. I'm not gonna sit there and say it's gonna be millions of players like day one or whatever. I think this game's gonna hit. I'm excited for it, Gables. Not only am I excited for it,
Okay.
I put my money where my mouth is. I pre-ordered it. I didn't only just pre-order it, Gables. I pre-ordered the deluxe edition. That's right. I dropped $60 on it. Boom, done.
Okay. So you're taking a high risk, high reward here, Tyler. It's
Nope,
either going to be
no risk.
something incredibly awesome or it's going to be another anthem. Who knows?
Why are you gonna bring up Anthem, man? That one hurts. You know that hurts me. Pre-order that game, bought the
Uh,
game day one, played 2 hours of it.
oh yeah, and they just continued support for that. I think it was like late last year.
Well, no, they turned the servers off 2 weeks ago. So,
Yeah, yeah, 2 weeks ago. That's
yeah.
what it was.
So yeah, well, that was too soon, Gables. Too soon. Um, Gables, like it's been 25 years. I can make 9/11 jokes. You can't make Anthem jokes. It's been 2 weeks. So
Oh my
just say
gosh.
it's a little insincere of you. But anyways, Gables, let's move on to what we've been playing. So we, like I said, we haven't done a normal podcast last month. Gables, do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first, buddy?
I'm gonna go ahead and have you go first. I'm hearing an old man yell my name outside, so I gotta investigate.
Okay, that's just the guy at the park. Don't worry about it. Uh, so I've been playing. I've been kind of like in a weird spot where I've just been like, the last like couple months, I really haven't had anything new to play, um, like new big games to play. So I've only been like, I'm just like kind of jumping around. It's kind of always kind of like I don't know what it is. Like this time, like towards like December, January, I feel like it's almost like I feel like there's like almost like a oh, all right, cool. Like I don't have anything new to play. I'm not trying to like cram for game when we do our game of the year podcast stuff like that. So like I end up like just kind of like all right, well nothing like there's nothing. Plus there's no new really not a lot of new stuff coming out anymore after like usually after like Thanksgiving and especially like being laid off last September. I felt like I'm not trying to play catch up with anything. I've been able to play games and keep up with them for the most part as they're coming out. So like I haven't had any of that. So I've been kind of bouncing around a little bit. I got like I was talking about a while back now with Persona 5 Royale. I finally started playing that a couple months ago, and I got really into it, and I kind of hit a wall. But I hit a wall like 40-ish hours in, and I'm like I was like kind of taking like I was kind of like had to like hype myself up to play it, and like I wouldn't play it for a little bit, and then I play a few hours like over the next day or two, and like I finally hit like I got to like 52 hours in, and I like a good chunk of the way through the game. I think I'm like September now in that game. And I was talking to another buddy about it who like loves Persona games. He platinums all of them. Then he'll buy like the new edition. Like he platinum Persona 5 back in the day, then bought Royale and platinum that one, and then he bought it again on PS5. And now I think currently working on his platinum for the PS5 edition. Um, but yeah, like I hit like 52 hours, and like I was talking to him, he's like, yeah, he's like, he told me like you're not even halfway yet. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, okay, I can't. I gotta walk away for right now. So even though I was like really enjoying the game, it's just like it's a lot. It's a long game, and like I said, I'm enjoying it. I like the characters and stuff like that, but like that like I don't play games like super duper long games like too much. Like most games I play, if like even for me like getting to 40 hours a game is quite a bit, and like I've definitely like in the last couple of years I've been more into like games that are a little longer. Like I put like 70ish hours into like Final Fantasy Rebirth. I put 80 plus hours into like um Persona 3 Reload last year, or I guess now 2 years ago. Same thing with like Metaphor ReFantazio. I think I put like 60ish hours into that one and beat that game. Like I've definitely put more time into games, but like am willing to do that. But I was like, man, I don't want to do that right now. I did try. I don't know why. I'm like, oh, you know what? That game was too long. Kind of burned out me on it. I'm gonna play Baldur's Gate 3, and I bought Baldur's Gate 3. It was on sale for like $40, I think, the deluxe edition. So I played that, and I played it for like good six. I gave it a college try. I played like 6-7 hours of it, and it just did not click with me. So I end up actually checking out. I just like I just need to go back to like something like kind of go back to like an old flame here, and like kind of like I just like was kind of burnt out on gaming. I'm like I'm not having a good time right now. So I actually went back and I played Gears of War Reloaded. Obviously I beat Gears of War multiple times now. And then Gears of War Reloaded came out last August, and it's like because I own the Ultimate Edition, I got it for free. I believe is how it worked out. So I own the game. Just went through, played through that. And I think it was also too like sometimes like I just need like a shorter game. It took me like 6 hours to beat, and like just having a good time with it. I love Gears of War. It's one of my favorite franchises ever. And just played through that. Felt really good. It looks gorgeous. There's still some like frustrating parts of it though, where like okay, like they just made like a 4K version of like an Xbox One port, but like there were still some frustrations of like like the AI, where like the AI is just really dumb. I'm playing by myself here, but like obviously like Dom, you could do co-op with Dom, but like you need like Dom to do something. Like at one point I had to replay a section like 3 times because like I needed Dom to like turn a wheel to move something for me, and he just like would run into the wall and just stop. And I'm like I sat there for like a minute and he just wouldn't move. And I was like, all right, I gotta restart the checkpoint. I had to go through this whole like fight again, do all that. I'm like, and then he would just go and he'd do it again. I'm like, what the fuck? So like there was like definitely frustrations, or like parts where like the next like I would like kill the enemies in the like in an area, and like the music's still playing, like there's action, but like there's no enemies left. I'm running around like okay, and then like I had to like just restart it, do it over again, and kill all the enemies, and finally like you hear like the guitar strum like, and then all right, cool. Like so like some weird like issues of like that were like in it's like a weird like Skyrim situation where like Skyrim had like it keeps getting ported to new things, but like somehow it's more busted than the last time. And, like they just did like the Switch 2 port, and it's like yeah, it's broken. It's not very good. It's like it's wild to me. I'm like, you guys couldn't fix these issues, with these, especially when it's a remaster of the remaster. And then the other thing I've been playing, I played a little. I played the demo of the Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined, I believe is what it's called. So I've never played Dragon Quest game ever. Like I've always known about them. I remember I worked at a game store in the 2000s, like 2006 to like 2008. I want to say I worked for like 2+ years, and they always had like there was like a slime controller that was just sitting there, and no, like it sat there. It was there when I started, and when I left, it was still sitting there. And it was like I think it was PS2. Like we're already well into like the PS3, the Wii, and 360 era, and it was just like sitting there, and I never got bought. It just sat there, covered in dust. But like that was kind of like the bulk of my knowledge of Dragon Quest was that slime controller, and it was like it just looked goofy. I'm like, who the fuck would ever use this thing? But yeah, anyways, I played through that, beat the demo. It took me about 6 hours to beat. I did do like I looked up like because there was like the level cap and stuff for it. It's like level 15 is a level cap. So I did like you could probably beat the whole thing in like 4-ish hours, maybe a little less. It's basically like the whole like first chunk of the game, and everything you do does progress over into the mid game, which is cool. And it comes out in a couple weeks. Yeah, I did play through, beat all that. I liked it quite a bit actually. Like seems like, I mean, I don't think the story. Excuse me, I don't feel like the story's gonna like oh my god, this is amazing or anything. But it does feel like a generic RPG, especially for a JRPG. Especially, I don't what Dragon Quest M. I'm assuming it was like probably PS2 era, PlayStation, maybe PlayStation One era. Like I said, I don't know much about Dragon Quest. Other than like I remember like was it Dragon Quest 12 the one people are really excited for? It's supposed to come out soon, maybe. But yeah, anyways, I like the design of it. It kind of gives me like Link's Awakening ish kind of design. And I thought it was kind of cool. Like the art is like the kind of the original. This art is like based off of like the original like concept art for the game. So I thought it was kind of cool. I thought that was fun. I like the combat, all that. Like it definitely like I'm someone that grew up as a huge, like in my teenage years, really up until like the 360 era. I was a huge JRPG fan, and would play pretty much like Skies of Arcadia and stuff like that back in the day, and loved all those. Tales of Symphonia, I guess, which isn't necessarily JRPG, turn-based wise, but it's like I love those type of games. It's just kind of fun. It feels like like a modern day old school version of that. So I had a lot of fun with that, and like I got to like the part where like this is the end, and I went and I just kind of like grinded for levels. It does kind of cool. It is cool too that you can actually like go into like the accessibilities area, and there's like you can increase like the amount of gold you can earn, or the amount of damage you can do, or the like experience points. So I did like once it got to like the end, I did go and like I increased all that because I'm like I'm just trying to like get to the level cap here, and I did all that bunch of battles and stuff like that to get to the level cap, so I can then so it's just that way like it helped me out a little bit. Plus I was enjoying the combat, and I like the fact that you can just like you can go and like set tactics. So like I was just like hit like I'm playing on PS5, just hit like the options button, and it was just like fast forward through the battles, and like I had it set to like they'd only do like basic attacks just to like get it through and just like get that. So I do like that kind of aspect too. Like cool, it's kind of like especially like especially we see like the Final Fantasy when they did like the HD one, like they had that collection with 1 through 6 where you can actually do like 3 times speed. Like I remember beating Final Fantasy 7, the OG Final Fantasy 7, like 4 years ago I want to say, and I like just doing that on like triple speed, and like that really helped me a lot with like when it comes to grinding and stuff. But yeah, like overall I really liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. I really liked something that like kind of jumping into a Dragon Quest game for the for the first time. Like okay, like just kind of give the old college try, and then school too was like my GameStop near me closed, so I had like $55 of credit, so I ended up just I pre-ordered a copy on the website, and like all right, that's probably the last thing I'm gonna buy from them. But yeah, so yeah, it's like it's kind of in a weird gaming area right now. But like I said, I played through Gears of War Reloaded and played the Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined demo. But Gables, that's all I've been playing, buddy. What about you? You're on mute. I still can't hear you. Oh god, Gables is on mute. Is your microphone muted?
Yes, my microphone's muted.
Okay.
So, just like you, Tyler, it's been sort of like a hodgepodge of gaming stuff for me as well. And I've been just delving just a little bit of things, because it's kind of a weird explanation, really. It's like whenever I get off of work or something, if I feel like I want to play something and stuff, I'm gonna either pop on my Steam Deck, I'm gonna try out a couple different games or something. Obviously, Power Wash Simulator seems to be that kind of like stress reliever type of choice of mine because, it makes me want to actually try to finish something or try to get some loose ends tied up, because it feels very satisfying to me whenever you're doing something and all of a sudden it's like you actually complete the damn thing
Mm-hmm.
instead of just leaving it like half done and all of a sudden you have to go after 2 or 3 other different projects and stuff like that, like at work and stuff. But other than doing like Power Wash Simulator stuff, I've been trying to play a little bit more of like Pokemon stuff because I decided to charge my analog pocket. Doing like a playthrough now of Pokemon Red again, but this time I'm trying to do it in a different way where I want to try to play through as all like poison type Pokemon or somewhat poison type. And so there's a little bit of a slew of a pocket of Pokemon that I could use on this team. It could consist of like Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, or like Nidoking, Nidorino, you know, Nidoran male and stuff, or even like the ones that you would think of, like Ekans, Arbok, coughing, wheezing, those type of Pokemon. Because usually poison types are they get decimated by psychic Pokemon. So I'm curious to see if I can just take a whole team of like poison Pokemon and then just try to go through the entirety of the game. Even though I know it's probably going to take like about 15 to 20 hours to do so, because I'm thinking about doing a whole full team of 6. So it's it's going to be quite a bit of an experience too. But one of the games I had been playing quite a bit of happened to be something Nintendo Stealth dropped like a couple weeks ago that just absolutely makes no sense, right? I mean, they are going to be releasing a new Fire Emblem game this year, and then nonchalantly they decide to drop on their like Switch Online service on their Nintendo GameCube app Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Dude, that game I've had I haven't had a chance to play that game consistently in almost 20 years, only because of the fact that I later find out by playing like what 3 to like 5 hours of this damn thing. Even though it's considered to be one of the more easier Fire Emblem games, for me, I'm still having issues trying to clear certain maps because this is the type of Fire Emblem game to where if you have party members fall in battle, they're permanently gone. That was the whole initial shtick with Fire Emblem back in the day, to where you have to seriously be careful with your comrades because they only live once, and if they die, you are going on without them. So, for Path of Radiance, I remember a couple different things. I remember getting fairly far inside my initial run of the GameCube, but for some reason or another, I just didn't feel like I wanted to do a lot of resetting anymore, and I just kind of got tired of it, and I just went through and played another different types of games. It really wouldn't be until like about 2013 when I started playing Fire Emblem Awakening that I started really loving playing the Fire Emblem games as a whole. But for Path of Radiance, I remember different types of characters. I remember Ike, you really had to put a lot of investment into. I remember characters like Soren and like Oscar and Boyd and Titania. Those characters, those are the starting group of fighters you get. Titania being the most powerful because she's already in a class and stuff that's like one of the higher echelon of classes for her, like for like a mounted unit and stuff. So she's a paladin starting off. And so she's going to be the one that's a little bit overpowered. So she specializes in axes and specializes inside of, also has spear axes as well. What makes this game different than other Fire Emblem games is each fighter has their own infinity of like different types of elements. Like there's some that are going to be like having light or dark or like earth elements and stuff, which earth element characters are fairly good inside of this game. They will synergize and stuff in terms of like with other teammates and stuff fairly well in comparison to stuff. There's some there's some complexities inside of this game that can be a little bit confusing at first. And that's part of the reason why back in the day I had to use a guide in order to get through some bits of stuff. Because knowing these type of things I have to do, like say collect different types of seals in order to reclass certain units, or even for certain just trying to find certain items to power up my characters and stuff. That provided to be kind of like a welcome change of pace. But one of the things I do remember way back when that I'm still trying to get used to though is once you finally do open up your various camp inside of this game, there's a couple different options you can do, from like switching characters items with one another, or some are sending items to a convoy, or using like say power up items for some of your characters to improve certain stats, or for the case of for some characters that you don't have the chance really to grind to get like necessary experience points, there's a feature that's called awarded exp, to where you have a certain amount that you earn per battle, and if you have a whole bunch of like awarded exp stacked up, you can literally level units like maybe 5 to 10 levels and stuff, and it would actually go through and do a substantial boost. So for me, I'm at the point in the game and stuff where I'm on this initial beach that I have to go through and try to destroy this, just capture this castle, right? And so I invested all of my, or like just most of my awarded EXP to one of my units, Oscar, who's like one of the mounted units that can eventually become a paladin that would specialize in like spear. He specialized in the spears, right? But the another aspect about this game that's kind of different than other Fire Emblem games is once you get to like level 20, that supposedly is like a max out, and then your character can go through and like kind of like quote unquote evolve by being reclassified into like a different unit. So for Cavaliers, which Oscar is like one of the few Cavaliers that's inside this game, once you get to a certain extent, he will go on to the next class, which is the Paladin class. And so from doing that, I get to choose like one of a couple different types of weapon options I could use for him. Like I could go with bow and arrow because he actually has some sort of synergy with both of his brothers that you use in the game. That they have this specific type of attack called the triangle attack, to where if you align the units like around like an enemy and stuff like inside of a triangle, they'll actually do like a triple bow attack when you do attack.
Hmm.
So you can actually take out some more powerful units doing that. Or you can issue him axes, because axes are one of the best types of weapons inside of Path of Radiance. So from my experience, I know that mounted units and also like axes are fairly good inside of Path of Radiance. But yeah, just playing through and experiencing the first 9 or so chapters, it really got me back to thinking way back when. It's like, God, man, I had the patience to play a lot of this stuff from back when. And then obviously having the player's guide for it still to this day is still kind of funny to me. But yeah, I am loving the aspect of creating save points for this game, because I can just load up the save point without having to reset multiple times over,
Yeah.
and then I can just flash back to like different points. Like, oh, okay, well, if I set this create a point right here before like I set off to the next chapter, I could just like experiment with like different weapons and stuff, or a lot different experience points of different units and stuff. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun doing that, playing some more like Path of Radiance. It feels good after a long time, because the last time I had played this game, I was a senior in high school, and I was just having fun, like right, because it was during the GameCube's later part of the era of the GameCube, to where there were good games that were becoming more sparse down leading up to the Wii's initial launch that later on that year. But yeah, Fire Emblem was like one of those games where I wanted to get good at. I wanted to try to beat that game, but because of how long it took, and plus of how complex it kind of got to me, I sort of lost interest and instead kept on my same old tried and true games from that generation, which was Smash Brothers Melee, obviously playing Wind Waker, playing the Ocarina of Time like port
Yeah.
on the GameCube and stuff, and then obviously Metroid Prime and like other types of games from that point. But yeah, it's a fantastic game. And quite honestly, if you're someone that owns a Switch too, and you do have the Switch Online stuff, at least give that game a try, Path of Radiance, especially if you're a Fire Emblem fan, because you have access to that and also like Sacred Stones, I think, like the other two Fire Emblem games that are on Game Boy Advance. So there's two Game Boy Advance Fire Emblem games you probably have access to play through the Game Boy Advance app, and then the one for GameCube. But other than that, though, yeah, that's been what I've been playing.
All right. Well, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for us this week. Nice to be back, Gables. Back in the swing of
Yeah.
things. I'll be back next week with a brand new show. Hopefully, some more good. Hopefully, we get some good news this week
Yeah.
from video games. But it's February is right around the corner, and there's some good games coming out next month here. So, kind of get through the doldrums here of January. But anyways, if you guys like the show, like what we're doing, please like, follow, subscribe on every podcast service. Go out there, help us out, 5-star reviews, leave comments, subscribe, all that. YouTube, like, follow, subscribe, everything, all that. Really would appreciate if you can do that for us. But I was host, I was Tyler.
I have been Colonel Gables, so until next time, everyone, thank you for listening to another fun-filled episode of the DrunkNerds podcast.
Hey, Gibbles.
Yeah.
Too sweet.
Too sweet, man.
Bye, guys.
See ya.